The most significant word that we will speak here today is focused. Because in this vibrational universe of which we are all a part, that which you give your attention to reverberates to the boundaries of the universe, to the limitless, boundaryless of the universe. In other words, as you give your attention to anything, whether you are observing it in your moment, whether you are remembering it from your past, whether you are speculating it into your future, whatever you give your attention to causes you to offer a vibrational signal. That law of attraction matches with other things like it. When we begin by saying to you that you are extensions of source energy focused here, what we mean by that is you are long-time energies here focused in this personality. And the more this personality chooses things of a vibrational nature that match who you really are, the more you thrive. You are free to give your attention to anything. And you live in a diverse universe where variety and contrast helps you to focus. In other words, you would never know what you choose about anything, whether it's on a food buffet or a thought buffet, if you did not have the advantage of choosing what is wanted, choosing what is not wanted, in order to come to your specific and important, clear conclusions about what you choose. As you are giving your attention to things that feel good to you, what that means is you are choosing things of a vibrational nature that do not cause you to depart from the energy that is your source. When you give your attention to something that makes you feel positive emotion, what that always means is that you, in your extended state, in your physically focused, leading edge environment, you have chosen something that is causing you to offer a vibration that so matches the energy that is really you, that there is a constant, steady flow of you through you. We call that the state of allowing. When you feel negative emotion, it means that you, out here on the leading edge, have chosen something that your personality, your ego, your focused physical being is giving its attention to, and in your attention to that subject, past, present, or future, the negative emotion indicates that you are not quite a vibrational match to the source that is really you. And therefore, you are not in the state of allowing the connection or allowing the fullness of who you are to flow. You are offering some resistance, some static that is hindering just a little bit. Sometimes we say pinching it off, but that's too strong. Sometimes we say disconnected. That's very much too strong. In other words, you cannot disconnect from the source that is you, but you can line up more fully or less fully, which means you can be in the state of allowing who you are or disallowing, allowing or resisting. When you think about being an extension of source energy, and you think about feeling positive emotion in the moment, you are actually practicing what we are calling the art of allowing. And it's important that you understand what we mean by allowing. Allowing what? Allowing the source energy that is really you to flow. Allowing the clarity that is really you to flow. Allowing optimum health and abundance and all things that you consider to be good. Allowing who you really are to be focused in this moment at the optimum thriving condition. Sometimes people think when we say, let's practice the art of allowing, that allowing means look at something that I really would not choose, something that I really disapprove of, and just tolerate it. Don't make a stink about it. And we say, allowing means feeling good. And you say, well, how in the world can I look at things not wanted, like sickness in my body or someone else's, or like world trouble? How can I look at personal or not so personal, unwanted things and practice the art of allowing? How can I see that stuff and feel good? And we say, we don't think you can. So you say, well, Abraham, are you suggesting that we get into a state of denial where we put our head in the sand and we just ignore important things? and we say, we would let nothing be more important than that we feel good. We would not let truth, the truth of now or the truth of history, be our criteria for that which we give our attention to. We have a fun question that we often ask where we say, if you were given two choices, would you choose feeling good or feeling bad? And most of you say feeling good. That's not hard to figure out. And when we say, would you choose truth or untruth? Almost without exception, you say, but truth, of course. I've been taught to choose truth. But when we say, do you choose truth or feeling good? That's when many have a great deal of trouble, because you have trained yourself to always choose, while you sometimes don't, but you think you should, choose truth. And what we're wanting you to hear is that there are a lot of things that are true that you are not wanting to achieve vibrational harmony with, because in achieving vibrational harmony with anything, in that vibrational match, you are inviting it. No, not just inviting it. You are demanding it. You are calling it into your experience. You are putting yourself in vibrational harmony with whatever it is you practice vibrationally. So how do you go about practicing the art of allowing when there are things in your world that you do not choose? And we say, it's not so different from going to a food buffet where there are things you do not want to eat. You just look at the choices and take what you want and pleasure yourself with the things you have chosen. And through trial and error, you get so that you can differentiate what you do choose. Given the intentions that you hold, those choices come to you quite easily. But we rarely see you standing at the food buffet, upset that something is there, feeling that it may assert itself onto your plate and into your mouth. You don't petition against it. You don't go to the manager and say, you know, there's something there that I don't eat and I don't think it should be there at all. You accept that others should get to choose things even if you do not. And we want you to broaden that to say, it's all right with me if others choose things of all natures that I do not choose. But the only way you're ever going to get to that place that you are willing to let things exist in the kitchen, even if you don't want to eat them, is when you finally, once and for all, really, really remember that there is no assertion in this universe. No one can force or assert anything into your experience. It all comes by your personal vibrational invitation. Now, we acknowledge that there are many physical humans who do not even know that they are offering a vibration at all. They have not remembered the importance of their guidance system. They don't remember that a positive emotion means you're in line with who you are. They don't remember that a negative emotion means that you are vibrationally lining up for unwanted things. And so there are many people who have learned to endure negative emotion. It's just not that important. When you feel negative emotion, you are pinching yourself off. Now, fortunately, it's not critical that every moment you hold yourself in a state of bliss, although it would be a good choice. You live in a universe where there's plenty of buffer time, and so you won't think a negative thought and croak on the spot. And we want you to understand that plenty of croaking goes on that has nothing to do with negative emotion. We do not want to imply that it is negative emotion that takes you out. Sometimes it is an intention for a broader perspective. We'll talk more about that later if you want to. But we do want you to leave this gathering really, really remembering that good feels good, and that you are good, and that the source that is you always feels good, and that anything less than feeling good is your practiced habit of diminishing the whole of who you are. The art of allowing means wanting so much to feel good that I use every trick in my book to try to feel better now. You might call the art of allowing the path of least resistance. Same message. In other words, when you are allowing, there is less resistance. And sometimes the path of least resistance is a little easier for you to hear, especially if you're in a jam where nothing feels all that good. As we move forward here today, we will be eager to hear you where you are. But we will not be too encouraging of long scenarios about where you are, especially if where you are is not where you are wanting to be. we are not going to perpetuate your resistance. We are going to encourage your allowance. And so, together, on any subject that is important to you, we will find the path of least resistance. Because reaching for the next thing that feels good and the next thing that feels good always leads you right out into the light, right out into the fulfillment of anything that you want. For some of you, it is unimaginable, the good things that are on your doorstep. And with just a little bit of effort of reaching for a little less resistance, you're going to begin to discover gifts that have been lined up right outside your door for a very long time. When you stand where you are, and where you are doesn't feel perfect, but you talk a lot about where you are, you hold yourself in resistance to what you really prefer. And the reason that you do that, we think, mostly, is because somebody has convinced you that you need to explain where you are. So you sort of have this defensiveness that wants to explain why you stand right where you stand. And we say, it really is not very interesting why you're where you're standing. Because that's sort of old news. We are much more interested in where you are wanting to go. We are much more interested in what is ringing your bells right now. But sometimes you think it is necessary, in order to get to where you're wanting to go, to talk really a lot about where you are. And we say, it is counterproductive, because as you talk about where you are, you activate the vibration of where you are. And when you activate the vibration of where you are not in vibrational harmony with the vibration of where you are wanting to be. Now that can change. In other words, there comes a time when you are living so well that just enjoying where you are living and appreciating where you are living just sets you up for more good stuff. And of course, then talking about where you are is a very good thing. But if there is anything about where you are that you would like to change, even in the slightest little bit, it is very important that you stop describing what is and start describing what you prefer, until what you prefer becomes a more dominant vibration. Sometimes when you talk about what you prefer, it upsets you because you're not already there. That's resistance. So you say, so I should just keep talking about what I want even if it upsets me? And we say, certainly not. Nothing is more important than that you feel good. You say, well, Abraham, what are you saying? It seems like I'm hearing two different things from you. Do I think about what I want? Yes. What if when I think about what I want, it doesn't feel good? Then don't do it. Well, I don't get it. How do I know what's the right thing to do? Would you please write a book that says, do these things and don't do these things? And we say, even better. You have guidance within you that is letting you know where your vibration is relative to everything. And if you are paying attention to the way you feel, and nothing is more important than that you feel good, then you will know how far to go on which thoughts. You can tell which thoughts ring your bells, which thoughts give you life, which thoughts shut you down. You can tell. The one thing you got to get over, as humans, you have come to the place, many of you, where you think it is okay to think about something that really feels bad as long as it's true. And we are wanting you to know that there are things that are true that you don't want. And there are many things that are true that you do want. But the criteria that you're reaching for, if you're reaching for the art of allowing, if you're reaching for vibrational compliance with who you are, if you're reaching for God force flowing through you, if you're reaching for clarity and abundance and well-being of all manner, then what you're reaching for is feeling good. End of subject. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. We don't care how true it is. It's not for you if it doesn't feel good. You say, well, doesn't it make me stronger? We say, well, it does serve you in that it makes you clearer. But we wouldn't hang out in negative emotion for any length of time. That's like saying, all that is good, I have chosen this, and I know that I'm worthy of it, and send it to me, but don't send it right away. I'd rather suffer for just a little while. It's like saying, all that is good, who understands my worthiness and hears my every request and has everything lined up, circumstances and events, the entire universe on cue, ready to deliver to me culmination points that will surprise and delight me all along the way. I know all that's waiting for me, but hold off just a little while. I'd rather be virtuous for a little while. Well, now we're just borderline harassing you, aren't we?